Hello, thank you for joining me today as we explore the Classwork tab inside Google Classroom. Now you'll notice on our screen that we're actually at Infinite Campus and not Google Classroom, and the reason for that is because it's really important for the students to start their learning journey here at Infinite Campus. Okay, this is the area where all of their textbooks are located, all of their digital learning resources are located, and it's where they can quickly and easily get to the G Suite for Education tools that are available to them. Okay, so when we're in Infinite Campus, we want to make sure we click on the Message Center. And then once we're at the Message Center, we're going to use two fingers on the mouse and just move them along the mouse pad until our screen moves and we get to Google G Suite for Education. Now that we're here, we're going to click on Google Classroom. Okay, so your student most likely won't have this many Google Classrooms available to them. They may have 4 or 5. This one is just a very busy student. Okay, so here in our Google Classroom, we're there now. We can tell by this little picture that shows up right here. We need to decide what class we're going to join. So today I want to do work for Miss K, so I'm going to join Miss K's practice class. And I can click anywhere on that box and get into her class. Okay, so once we're here, this link right here, probably the most important piece of information on this page, is going to be this link right here, because this is the Meet link that students will use to join their teachers and their classmates on camera for those real-time learning sessions. Okay. And this is under our Stream tab. But the focus of this video is going to be our Classwork tab. So I'm going to click on Classwork. And we're going to take a walk around what is available when we're at this tab. Okay, it's a super important area. It's where the student gets to access any of the assignments that the teacher has given them. So it's very important that the kiddos understand this and everything that's available to them on this page. Okay, so we're going to start in our upper left corner. Our 3 lines is what's going to get us to the other classes that the student is signed up for. Okay, there's also a link to get to their calendar, and for the students there will be a to-do list area as well. Okay, I'm going to click just over here to move that away. I can also click on Miss K's practice class, just the name, and that will basically take me back to the home page or that stream page. Okay, I can also access that by clicking right here on Stream. So then we're going to move over and we're going to look at our topics. Now, some teachers organize their classrooms into topics. Some teachers don't. It's helpful when you have several different things that you want the students to be able to easily find to use topics. Okay, so for example, this teacher we can tell is a reading teacher, but she's also a math teacher. So she's going to have a section for reading and a section for math, and she's going to have her assignments in those different sections. Okay, so as a student, if I want to find my reading log, I can just click and there I go to my reading log. Okay, if I come back to my topics, I can also get to that just by scrolling my screen right here, and I can see each of the different categories that are available. Okay, if the teacher does not set up topics like this, then what's going to happen is all of the assignments will be listed right here, still easy to find, and they will be listed with the most recent one at the bottom. Okay, so either way, we can find our assignments by clicking over here and then clicking on the assignment, or we can get to our assignments just by scrolling right here in the middle. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to look at View Your Work. Okay, this is one of the best, most helpful features. There's 2 on this page. Other than just getting to the work, this is one of them. Okay, so we're going to click on View Your Work. And when we come to this page, we see a list of every assignment for this class that we've been given throughout the school year. And not only do we see that list, we also see what the due date was, if there was a due date assigned. And it's okay if there aren't due dates for every assignment, because not everything that a teacher posts in here needs to have a time when the students have to get it turned back in. Okay, and then it's also going to show the status. Okay, so this is where it's helpful for the students to track and be mindful of their own learning because they can see if it's been assigned, if it's missing, what's going on with the assignment. This is also a great place for parents to look to kind of keep an eye on how things are going for their student. Okay, so a couple of different options show up when students come into this screen. So we have, if it's been assigned, so the teacher has put the assignment in Google Classroom, student hasn't interacted with it, hasn't downloaded anything, hasn't opened the assignment, so it just shows assigned. Okay, if it's missing, that means the due date has passed, but the student has not accessed the assignment. Okay, so it's missing. If it's graded by the teacher, then the grade will show there. Keep in mind that the grades that are here in Google Classroom are not the same as the grades that go on the student's report card. That's a completely different thing. So the grades that you might see here are a good idea, will give you an idea of how the student's grades are going, but really what's actually going to be on their report card is a grade that's in a different system. Okay, so notice here that this assignment was done. It was graded by the teacher, but it was also done late. Okay, so it was turned in after the due date, but the teacher still looked at it, still assigned a grade to it, gave some feedback to the student, and that's how things worked for this assignment. So we have another one where the assignment was turned in by the student, but the teacher just hasn't graded it yet. So that's why it has the status turned in. And then one of the other options is down here, we can see that we had this assignment, the student accessed the assignment, opened the work, but they didn't do anything with it and they didn't turn it back in. Okay, so it's a good thing to remind students that they need to make sure that they follow through with the process of actually turning in the assignment. There's buttons that have to be clicked to make that happen. If they do the work and it saves automatically their computer, the teacher can't get to it. The students have to actually physically click a button that says turn in so that the teacher can see the assignment and can evaluate it. Okay, so that is our view your work area. All right, so the next thing over is Meet. Now this is another place where students can click to join their classmates and their teacher in a Google Meet. Okay, this will take them to the same place as the link that is here on the Stream tab. So students can click here, or they can come to Classwork and they can click here. Okay, next over is a Google Calendar. This calendar can be very helpful for the students to keep organized. The calendar will show assignments that have a due date attached to them. Okay, and then earlier I mentioned that there were two really great resources on this page. View Your Work was one of those resources. The other resource is the Class Drive folder. When we click here, what we'll notice is that anything that the student has been asked to access from Google Classroom, a copy of it is saved in this Class Drive folder. I'm not going to say anything. Most things that a teacher posts in Google Classroom will save a copy into the Drive folder. This is very, very helpful when if a student does their work, forgets to click that turn in button, and the teacher says, hey, I'm still missing this assignment for you, or they look in Google Classroom and they see that it still shows missing, and the student says, well, I know I did the work, where did the work go? So this is where they need to look to find their assignment, and then they can work with the teacher to get it turned in. Okay, one more time, how we got to that was here on our Classwork tab and clicking on our Class Drive folder. Okay, all right, so other things that I want to show you here on our walk around of the Classwork tab in Google Classroom is our assignments list, which is here. We can scroll, as I mentioned before, to get to all of the different assignments that are available. And we also have some information that's available to us about the assignments, which are listed right here, where we have the day that it's due, or the fact that it does not have a due date assigned with it. Okay, so that is our walk around of the Classwork tab in Google Classroom. Remember how we got here was we went to the Infinite Campus tab. We clicked on the Message Center. We scrolled down until we got to the Google Classroom in the Google G Suite for Education area. We clicked on Google Classroom, and once we clicked there, we came to this screen right here. So we clicked on the class that we wanted to do the work for, and then from here, we clicked on Classwork, and that's how we got to this screen. All right, thank you very much for joining me today.